flyers with her picture on it and a phone number to call and a reward for anyone that had information leading to her, to finding her. Well, the media picked up on it. All these people were showing up, passing out flyers, and they blanketed the city. 2 or 3 days later, there was a call put into the hotline, and there was a boy asking how much information he'd have to give in order to get the reward. Well, the police were interested in that. They tried keeping him on the line, and he hung up. They traced the call, were able to go to his home, and it turns out he was friends with the boy who had kidnapped that girl at a party and had her tied up in his basement. And the police were able to rescue her. She has since then adjusted. She's living a normal life. She's not married, has children of her own. And you think about the difference that my dad made in her life. And not just her life, but the life of her family. And you recognize he didn't do that because he wanted to have the accolades of the media or of a party. He did that because he cared about his partner and he knew he could do something to help, and about that for that young girl. And you know, when I see what the other side tries to paint of my dad, the image they try to project of him, the reason I think that race shifted so much after that last debate was because they had done such a good job of creating this fictional character that didn't exist, that when America saw the real Mitt Romney on the stage and listened to him unfiltered from the liberal media, unfiltered from the 30-second attack ads that the Democrats have been running, they said, oh my goodness, this guy's smart, he knows how to get things done, and he's a good man too. And I think just a whole lot of people shifted their opinions. And ever since then, the momentum has been real. People now recognize how good a person he is, how great of a job he'll do as president. By the way, are we going to win here in Ohio? Yeah! We are going to win here in Ohio, but we need your help to get it done. Show up at headquarters here, make phone calls, talk to your neighbors. If you haven't voted early already, go get it done. Every little thing that you can do will make a big difference. I can tell you, I feel very confident that if we all do our part, not only will we win here in Ohio, but we're also going to win in Wisconsin, in Florida, Virginia, North Carolina, Iowa, Nevada, Colorado, all across the country. But we got to work every day like it's the last day, and we got to act like we're down by 10 votes. Think about that election in Florida when we won by only a couple hundred votes out of millions cast. Same thing can happen again here in Ohio. So work like crazy. Is Josh here?
He's here.
All right. So it's my pleasure. Oh, there he is. My pleasure to introduce your next senator from Ohio, Josh Mandel.
Thanks everyone for being here. We've been crisscrossing the state with the Romney campaign and Congressman Johnson and others, and I just wanted to thank everyone for what you're doing. We've come from down 17 points, now we're tied in the polls, and we're going to win this thing on election day with your help. Other side's going to have more money. They're going to play dirty. They're going to make up a bunch of stuff and throw it on TV about Tagg's dad and me. But we're going to win this thing at the water cooler when you talk to people at work, at your kids' soccer games or grandkids' soccer games, talking to folks after your church services, talking to folks at your family barbecues, what have you. That's what we're going to win this thing. One of the main issues that Governor Romney is debating President Obama on, and I'm debating Senator Brown on, is whether or not the oil, gas, and coal we have underground in Ohio and America are assets or liabilities. I believe they're assets. Governor Romney believes they're assets. And I know Congressman Johnson does too, and for the economic strength and national security of America, I believe we should be mining all the coal and drilling for all the oil and gas we can. I call it the win-win-win-win. It's the new jobs for our state, affordable energy for our households and our businesses, a strong tax base for our schools and our cops and firefighters to take care of our senior citizens, and that fourth one is national security. If I may, for just one moment, as a Marine vet, wear my hat. I believe we are strongest here in the United States when we produce energy here in the United States. We don't want to be depending on radical Islamic countries in the Middle East. It's important also to note, I saw a commercial on TV the other day talking about Governor Romney and Congressman Ryan and their beliefs about protecting the Second Amendment. As we know, President Obama has trampled on our Second Amendment rights, and I, as well, am proud to stand up for our Second Amendment rights. I'm proud to be endorsed by the NRA, have an A rating from the NRA. Sherrod Brown has an F rating from the NRA. I think he's proud of that as well. And this is another issue that's very important because I know we all believe in protecting our constitutional rights to bear arms and protect our families and go hunting if you do wish. I also believe we need some fiscal responsibility in Washington. It's been over 3 years since the United States Senate has passed the budget. How many of you around your kitchen tables can go 3 months without discussing your family finances? Or if you have a small business, go 3 weeks without discussing the budget of your business. It's been 3 years since they passed the budget in Washington. Many more years since they passed a balanced budget. And I believe they can learn something from what we're doing in Ohio. In the Ohio Treasurer's Office, we've earned the highest rating on our bonds, the highest rating on our investments. Our portfolio is up over $2 billion since the day we took office. We've navigated the European sovereign debt crisis, not only without a loss, but actually with a yield on behalf of taxpayers. And we've done all that while voluntarily cutting our budget 2 years in a row. We want to take that kind of fiscal responsibility, fiscal conservatism, fiscal discipline, join up with Governor Romney and Congressman Ryan and go change Washington. The only way we're going to change Washington is by changing the people we send there. You can't keep trying to put a square peg into a round hole and think all of a sudden it's going to fix. One thing I can promise you, we're not going to change Washington by sending Barack Obama and Sherrod Brown back there.
That's right.
We want to change Washington. Let me finish up by making all of you a commitment. My commitment to you is this: when I go to Washington, there's going to be a day when some guy from the Republican Party pulls me in a smoky room and puts his hand on my shoulder and says, "Listen, son, you better vote for this legislation or else I'm going to kick you off your committee. Listen, son, you better vote for this legislation or else we're going to shut off your fundraising." Some lobbyists are going to try to put pressure on me. Some journalists are going to say, "I'm going to write a bad editorial if you don't vote for this legislation." My commitment to you is I will look that journalist, that lobbyist,